the UFC comfortably. Just round people up at the behest of ice.
Do you see what the Eagles are doing?
Talking about how we needed to mate in Jurassic Park. They have rap battles and car shows and now we're working on our next podcast.
Right, Harry.
That I was the first one to record Darnell.
I'm not everybody in their mama.
What up, folks? We are back at it again, the Build and Destroy show. As you know, every Sunday around 5 p.m. we gets down, talk about hip-hop, politics, anything that we think the audience should be aware of. And today we have a special guest with us. I will let High Rise do the introduction.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? We got a special guest. I can introduce you to. And I don't think you two have ever met. So we have Adriane Wilson, and that's Wicked, Meticulous, my co-host. He's in Build and Destroy, the hip hop collective that sponsors this show. And Adriane's going to tell us about a cool program that she is helping run. It is called From the Projects to the Prison Pipeline. And I'll let her explain it better than I. But it's kind of a storytelling, personal empowerment journey that inmates can take and help educate anyone interested in what their issues are and what they're overcome. So, you could tell us how this program works, how people can tap in, and just exactly what it is.
Sweet. Sorry. Thank you all for allowing me to take space in your program today. Just want to honor that, we have ran into each other a couple of times over the years. We know each other through community space and community work, and that's how we kind of got here today. So I just want to honor, our history as far as community members that are involved, in our surrounding areas and wanting to make things better. My name is Adriane, or people say Adriane in English. I go by she, her pronouns. I have been a community organizer out here in Tacoma, specifically on Hilltop for some years, even decades now. I run two organizations. One's called Truth Teller Consulting. I call myself a truth teller. I'm also a heart-centered person. I connect with people through the heart, but recently created a nonprofit with some other powerful people called Community Empowerment Organization, CEO for short. And so what we do civic engagement through a Black cultural lens. We have healing-centered, trauma-informed curriculum where we talk about triggers, how to overcome them, personal safety, all those sort of things. And I also have created a coloring book honoring local community advocates, organizers that don't get recognized as often as they should be, in hopes to provide resources and stimulation to the work that they do. But the project that I'm working on right now through CEO is called From the Projects to Prison, A Return to Humanity. And how that came about is, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the Black Prisoners Caucus. It is one of the oldest running cultural groups inside prison institutions from 1970 until now. They have chapters in every prison in Washington State. And so I can always share a little bit of history of BPC, but I'm just an advocate on the outside supporting the brothers that are on the inside. And so recently at Airway Heights Correction Center, BPC hosted a summit from the Projects to Prison Pipeline, and the administration gave them a lot of pushback. They invited members from the community. A lot of them weren't able to show up. They had a Zoom link that people were supposed to be able to view the summit, and the administration pushed back on that as well. And so this event is an extension of the work that they are already doing. And so what we are doing is hosting an 8-week series from July 11th until August 29th from 11 to noon on Zoom, where a different incarcerated member will speak about their version of From the Projects to Prison Pipeline. So there'll be conversations around the structure of prisons, the new prisons, policy prescriptions, what sort of policies folks can push forward to get some of, their barriers that are in prison resolved. The last one, August 29th, is talking about children deserve better. How can folks be held accountable for the harm that they've caused, but also for the harm that is caused to them, and how can we treat our children better in these sort of circumstances so they don't ever get to where they are. And so this 8-week series is a lead up into Black August. I'm not sure if folks know that much about Black August, but it does center around George Jackson, who was killed in a prison in San Quentin, I believe. He was caught stealing $70 and then was served over 10 years for $70. He was sentenced with an indefinite sentence at that time in the 1970s, which meant that they could keep him for a day or keep him for the rest of his life. It was an indefinite sentence. So anyways, he was killed. He is associated with Angela Davis. So if you all know about her, that's kind of, some of the stuff that she was involved in as well. And so Black August is like when George Jackson and his brother died. It's also when the Haitian Revolution was done. It's also when Nat Turner's Rebellion was done. So August is a big thing for Black folks. And so Black August, so this series leads into the Black August. Again, it will be facilitated by different members of that are incarcerated that may be a part of the Black Prisoners Caucus or may not be. But it's just an hour long, and we're asking for community members to show up, to show out, to show support, and to listen to these brothers as they try to facilitate a conversation about their said topic.
That's dope. Thank you for that intro. And we usually just kind of go back and forth and ask a few questions for a half hour, 45 minutes or so. What are some of the, do you know any other topics that a participant may be looking forward to being educated on in these 8 weeks?
Right. Like I mentioned, topics about like policy prescriptions. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Judicial Discretion Act. These are some policies and some laws that folks that are incarcerated have been pushing forward, and laws that have not been passed yet, but they want these laws to be passed. One thing that I would like to also mention is that this series is also leading into the legislative session. And so these brothers are also looking at resentencing reform. And so if you know anything about clemency and how folks have gone up for clemency, a lot of them have not, I don't want to say a lot, but there have been some that have been awarded clemency, but that goes up. There's a clemency board that decides if someone deserves clemency or not. They have to go through this whole review and interview and all these sort of things, and then it goes up to Bob Ferguson for him to approve, and he hasn't approved any of them. And so that means, so if you're not going to approve clemency, are you going to bring back parole? You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's just a life sentence and there's no point of even trying to go for clemency. So these brothers are pushing for sentencing reform, second chances, that sort of thing. So these sort of topics lead into that sort of thing. But if you go to our website, which is communityempowerment.carrd.co, it explains a lot about like what a pipeline is, why children deserve better, and so we talk about in there, for example, the preschool to prison pipeline. So you heard of like school to prison pipeline, but the preschool to prison pipeline is when it actually really starts. That Black children in particular, I have notes. Black children, or at least Black boys, represent 19% of male preschool enrollment, but 45% receive out of school suspensions. Students of color are more likely to be suspended, expelled, and arrested, and it costs $10,000 to educate a child, but $50,000 to incarcerate them. So we kind of dive deeper into those sort of topics as to how and why the pipeline even exists, and how even community members like ourselves should be aware of that, especially if you have children, and if you have children that identify as Black or of color.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So what? Yeah.
On this topic on the children, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on the revelations coming out of Raymond Hall and the decades of abuse that tens or hundreds of our young folks in the community have suffered, and the fact that it happened, and well, just what are your thoughts on the current state of that, and whether they're going to get any type of recompense, reparations for the suffering?
I feel like I have heard of some folks receiving monetary compensation for the abuse that they suffer, but that in there also like sentencing people to incarceration causes more harm than actually like solving the problem. And so I think it's sad. I think it's disgusting. I think, to be honest, what I understand in particular about what happened at Raymond Hall here in Tacoma is that there was at least 1 to 2 people, employees that had worked there for decades that had been abusing children. It's not anything that was new, and it wasn't stopped. Nobody did anything about it. And it's not just a man, right, that caused harm. It was also a woman that caused harm in that facility to boys and others. And so, like, I think it's sad. I see an ad on Facebook all the time talking about if you've been abused in this system, then, call this number and all that sort of stuff. So how can we trust the people that are running these sort of institutions to not cause further harm to our children? And so that's why we have to take a better look at why the pipeline to prison even exists. So if a child goes into that sort of system and then becomes even more violated, how can we expect those sort of children that then turn into adults to behave in a certain way that we expect them to when they've been caused so much harm by even going through the system in the first place? I mean, we talk about foster care to prison pipeline. We talk about mental health illness to prison pipeline. We also talk about how housing people that are coming out of incarceration are 10 times more likely to end up being homeless, and also more likely to be affected and go back to prison as well. And so how do we help a system or create a system or dismantle a system that causes so much harm, but nobody wants to take recognition or accountability for those sort of things? So I think it's disgusting. I think it's reprehensible. I think it's also common. I don't think it's uncommon for people to be harmed in those sort of systems. It's just that they get away with it because a lot of folks don't want to deal with people that are incarcerated, who have mental health issues or are homeless or on drugs or any of those sort of things. It's like, honestly, I almost feel like people that are incarcerated or in that system are almost treated as if they are a disability, because folks don't want to acknowledge them, don't want to accommodate for them, and don't want to include them in community.
Yeah. Is there a any partnership with the women's prison and the men's caucus at all?
Right. I don't have a direct relationship with any of the women that are at Purdy right now. I know that I have reached out a couple of times, but I think, folks that may be incarcerated, and I wouldn't blame them, are weary of people that are reaching into them that they don't have a relationship with. I think a lot of times folks that are incarcerated get extracted from get used in a lot of ways and abused in a lot of ways. So I don't blame anyone for being cautious of, someone like me trying to reach in. I think where, I and other folks need to step up in at is to build a relationship with those sort of folks, with those that are incarcerated in the women and men's prison. I know that in the women's prison, they are neglected in a lot of ways. I know that they suffer in so many ways, fractured families, lack of, positive support from the outside. And so my role is to try to establish a better relationship with that institution. But that is something that I'm currently working on. But I am also open to building that sort of relationship with the women in there, if that's something that they choose.
Oh yeah, maybe a listener can make something happen, build a bridge.
I would love that.
Can you share with us just a little bit maybe about your background and how you actually got involved in this particular segment of community work?
Right. Like I said, I've been doing community organizing work for a while now. I've been a single mother. I've raised children, and my children's father has been incarcerated for well over 20 years. So I feel like my family and I, especially the caregiver, the one that stays home and takes care of the children, is often the forgotten one. The one that is you kind of focus on the person that's in prison. You might focus on the children who have an incarcerated person, but the caregiver, I feel, is always the one that's left behind. So when I was raising my children, I remember I was working at a daycare center and my children were going there, and it was Christmas time, and there was a lady host, trying to solicit presents from the community for children who have incarcerated parents. And so one of the things that she said on the radio is that children who have an incarcerated parent is 5 to 6 times more likely to become incarcerated themselves. And I was offended. I was so offended that I ran to my children and tried to cover their ears because I didn't want that sort of self-fulfilling prophecy to become part of their system. And so ever since then, I've been an advocate to show that, there's a resilience in these sort of children in these communities that isn't spoken about enough. And so those same children that this lady radio host was talking about, my daughter ended up becoming a lawyer. She graduated from Howard School of Law. Thank you. Yes. She works at a children's law firm right now. And she's in Virginia. I have a son, right? His father was a gang member who committed so much harm in this community, but now my son is a firefighter and is healing community instead of causing harm like his father did. So I just wanted to show people that, it doesn't matter what the statistic says. It doesn't matter, what society may say about you, that you can actually raise some really resilient children. And so because I was an advocate in their schools, because, I felt like our voices needed to be heard, I became more of an advocate in community. And so because I have that sort of lived experiences, because I also am resourceful, like I said, a community advocate, a truth teller, heart-centered, all of those things, I continue to do this sort of organizing work. And so I was introduced to the Black Prisoners Caucus at a Juneteenth event. And so ever since I went to a Juneteenth event, I started supporting their work. And that's why I'm here today, continually supporting the work that they do, the voices that they want to bring to the table. Many of these brothers that will facilitate these conversations have been incarcerated for decades. And so I want to bring their voices out in community. I want to showcase how brilliant these brothers are, and how they actually want to help build with community. They want to help heal some of the harm that they've caused. And they also have like ideas and solutions on how we can do better.
Word. Well, yeah, as you mentioned a little bit at the beginning, we know each other from the early days of, like, pretty sure poetry, free your mind, spoken word is where we met. And you're working with people now that are telling their story, and I'm sure they have powerful stories and powerful voices. Does poetry and hip hop, this being an art-centered hip hop podcast, does poetry and hip hop ever cross over into these gentlemen's approaches? Have you heard any um, artistic expressions? And what are some of the highlights and sort of cool moments that you've been able to hear and witness?
Well, yeah, these brothers do a lot of, some of them are like painters. So some of them do art expression in that sort of way. They also create like necklaces, beaded necklaces, that sort of stuff. A lot of times they'll create these sort of art pieces and give them away, or maybe try to provide them to like other grassroots organizations so that they can like fundraise for activities, that sort of stuff. One brother in particular that comes, first of all, I want to mention that I also wanted someone that's currently incarcerated to participate in this conversation. So he wasn't, it wasn't able to work out, but I want to mention his name in this space because, I had done a lot of work with him as I got here. So that's Mr. Derek L. Jones, Sr., also known as DJ. He's incarcerated at Airway Heights. He's the president of the BPC chapter out there. He is, he does spoken word, he does art, he plays the keyboard, he might even do a little singing sometimes. But so, yeah, they do those sort of things in the spaces as well, especially like at the summits or Juneteenth events. They'll play guitar, they'll sing, they'll do acting as well. They've done plays in front of folks, as well. And then there's also a brother named Vincent Sherrill, also known as Tank. He has some poetry, like a poetry. Some of them have started like their own organizations as well. So he does poetry and spoken word, and some of that will also be included in this series. So not only are we going to be doing weekly conversations, facilitated conversations as well, we'll be doing a video montage that also includes some of the spoken word from these brothers, that also may include some of the singing and art pieces as well. So yes, hip hop, spoken word, any sort of art, plays, all that sort of stuff is also included. It's a little hard to showcase that in a 1-hour Zoom facilitation meeting. So at some point, we're also trying to showcase what these folks also are able to bring to the table creatively as well. Yes.
Oh, sounds dynamic.
Beyond, so I know we're kind of focusing on this upcoming series.
Yes.
But can you tell us kind of what you envision for, your work that you're doing, kind of, moving forward, let's say out in 5 years or 10 years, what do you envision your work looking like? Let's say if we're doing a good job and being able to impact, make the changes in legislature and policies, where do you see yourself in what you're doing in 5 or 10 years?
That's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking that. I want to mention where I see myself in 5 or 10 years is seeing youth and young people playing a pivotal role in the work that we do. So one thing that we also do at CEO, is facilitate a Black civic engagement curriculum called Know the Ledge So You Don't Fall Off the Edge. And it talks about Black folks' role in civil rights, right? We talk, and specifically Black women's role in civil rights. We talk about Fannie Lou Hamer. We talk about Claudette Colvin. We talk about Sojourner Truth. We go over Sojourner Truth's, speech. We talk about all of that stuff in detail, but what we do it in a way that other youth of color, Black youth of color, can really connect with. We facilitated that curriculum in Renton a couple of years ago with youth who almost every single one that were a part of the program had somehow been affected by incarceration or gun violence. So these are youth that we took on weekends to educate them around civic engagement. What does it mean? One of the things that we did before we even invited youth into the group is to have some sort of like interview process. And one of the questions is, what does civic engagement mean to you? And almost every single one didn't understand what the question meant. And they didn't understand that by going to a meeting or participating in a protest or gathering other youth like themselves is a part of civic engagement. They didn't make that connection. And so what we are able to do is to provide some sort of like a language, some sort of like base that they can build from, that they can also go out and have conversations with their friends and family members and community members so that they can build this sort of knowledge at their own hands. And so what ended up happening at the end of that program a couple of years ago, youth came up with their own song, right, about civic engagement and how black people's roles were. They came up with a dance about it as well. And so they got to like do their thing in their own way, in their own terms, and they actually had a lot of fun with it. So like when you ask about like where do I see myself in 10 years, where I see myself at is in the audience watching some of the youth that came through our programming and learned and took heed to what we were saying and pushed it forward on their own terms. So what I see myself doing is being surrounded by beautiful people from all walks of life that can understand the barriers when it comes to civic engagement, when it comes to like healing and overcoming your triggers, and also to like to dismantle the school to prison pipeline, or just the prison pipeline in and of itself. So I want to participate in a community. It looks successful to me when all kinds of folks are engaged in the conversation, particularly youth that are disproportionately affected by gun violence, mass incarceration, lack of barriers and opportunities, and the lack of opportunity to express their whole selves in the spaces that they see themselves in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what's the number one, or what's a good, true, sort of just concrete way an average listener could do something to help the cause, to help dismantle, this pipeline? What's a simple way, or is there, maybe not a simple way, but just what's a good thing we could do?
The base of everything is building relationships with each other. So building authentic and transparent relationships with each other. I think so many times in doing this sort of organizing work, people are siloed, right? They're just like over here and then they're over there, and we're not connected with each other. I know that some years ago, right, I came to this like epiphany, right? The spiritual awakening that, like I shine on my own, you shine on your own, but when we shine together, there's a light that is accumulated that can't be created by ourselves, right? The same feeling that you get like we're in Washington and we finally get to feel the sun on our skin and how good it feels. Like this light that we create with each other will feel just as good, if not more, if we learn how to work with each other. We may not agree on everything. We may not feel like this is the way to go, but if we can build relationships with each other and connect in that sort of way, then that's actually what builds the movement, right? And so you're asking, like, what can one particular person do? You can open yourself up to build relationships with other people that you may not understand so well. You can open yourself up and say, hey, I actually want to learn more about your cause, or I want to share more with you about my cause. But I also think that, folks can promote work that we're doing. Folks can show up to community meetings. Folks can share resources with each other. You may come, like if I have an event that's in a physical space, you may want to come and help me clean up. You may want to help me make sure that the perimeter is secure. You may know of like an organization or a foundation or a resource for finances that can help support this movement as we go further. This movement is out of love. It's not like I'm getting paid for it. I'm volunteering my time, but I know that the worth and the effort is there, and I know that it's important. I don't want folks that are incarcerated to feel like nobody in community cares or wants them around. If we pay attention to the numbers, I believe it's like 96% of folks that are incarcerated will come home at some point. And do you want them to come home feeling like they are a part of the community or against the community? And then, you know what I mean? And so how can we tackle that sort of stuff together? So I just feel like if we can shine together, if we can all bring our lights together and shine our lights on the issues, on the problems, then maybe we can dismantle them. But at the base of everything is building people and people's movement building. And how can you do that if you don't involve the people in the first place? So part of the reason why I wanted to come out here today on y'all's podcast is because I want to share this story, right? Y'all have an audience that I do not have. And so maybe there are some folks in the space that may want to get involved. Maybe you want to support the brothers. Maybe you want to support the sisters that are incarcerated that need a lot of support as well. Maybe you want to support the children of those that are incarcerated, of those that are suffering from gun violence or any of that sort of stuff. And there are people like me in the community that can direct you to those sort of places.
Yes.
Well, can you share with us? So we in work doing community work, it can take a toll emotionally and spiritually on you. What are some things that you do to help keep yourself energized and motivated and on mission to do the hard work that you're doing?
I love this work first and foremost. So this is what I love to do. I think I was talking with a young lady not too long ago who wants to participate in this work with me, and how she mentioned that it makes her feel like she has a purpose, right? So she wants to do this sort of work. For me, how I reground myself, I have a partner that I can release some tension and stuff with that can help keep me grounded, or can see things that maybe that I can't see, so I can share, some of my hardest things with. But I'm an earth sign, right? So the sun, the water, the beach, those sort of places is where I go to reground and recuperate as well. I went to a beach a few weeks ago, right? I took my daughter's dog with me, and it was a beach where dogs can go in the water as well. It was cute because he had never been in the water before. So he was just pawing at things for the first time, not knowing, not ever being in a space like that. That helped, recuperate my brain in some ways, but also being in the water and feeling the sun. When I went there that day, I could barely eat. I wasn't really able to like intake food. I could do liquids, but that was about it. The next day, all of that was gone. I was able to eat again. I was able to drink. I felt so much better. And the sun, right? The sun, the light that I keep talking about recuperates me, right? It recuperates my spirit. It recuperates my soul. It re-nourishes my body and my brain in a way that I need to like be able to say, okay, I can continue to go. But like I said, I'm fighting for the children, right? As well. Like I said, I was fighting for my children's lives and not making sure that these statistics don't take them where they, don't need to want to be in the first place. So I want to make sure that children also can survive. And so you know what I mean? Like I can't do it alone. I'm not supposed to do it alone. That's why I'm also coming to you all to kind of help in the fight, in the struggle. You know what I mean? Like I'm not supposed to do it by myself, but if we all take some sort of like hold of it, some sort of like accountability towards it, some sort of leadership in the movement, then it's not one person's burden to bury. It's all of ours. You know what I mean? Because these are all of our children. These are all of our family members. And so we want our community to be as healthy and as safe as possible, but only one person can't do that. It has to be all of us joining together to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, the email you sent us, does that, and you sent me a flyer. We can post the flyer. Is that the easiest way for people to get involved in the event that's coming up in July?
Yeah, you can contact me through email, onecommunitympowerment@gmail.com. I mentioned our website, communityempowermentorganization.carrd.co. I encourage you all to take a look at that. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of data there. There's also ways that any of these individuals that are facilitating this conversation, maybe you want to connect with them, maybe you want to contact them and see how you can be in support. Their information is on there too, as well as their pictures. We have a lot of work coming up the rest of this year as well as next year. We can always use some support, some collaboration, some partnership, any of those sort of things. We're definitely open to that. We also have a Facebook page that you're more than welcome to check out as well. But yeah, contact me. I mean, either way it goes, right? I want to build connections. I want to build relationships. We can support each other's work, that we're doing. And I think, this is a positive step towards the right direction. So I'm really grateful that y'all even allowed this opportunity for us to come and speak, to take place. And yeah, I'm just honored to be here. I'm honored to do the work. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to still do it. And I'm looking forward for anybody that wants to participate. I'll definitely sit down. We can have, I like hot chocolate. We can do that, or iced chocolate, and then, kind of go from there.
Dope.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll send you a link to this. Turns into a YouTube video.
Okay.
And you can share it and put the links in the comments.
Okay.
So they'll be there forever, and we'll reshare it. And we wanted to thank you for the work that you did and are doing, and even the work you did to set this up. And we do shout out all the members of the panel, and we know you wanted to have some clips of them on here, but you really did a great job, and this was a real natural way to talk about the event. So I think
Did it come across?
Very yeah, you knocked it out the park. So I
okay,
just wanted to say I think this was the best mode of communication.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Either way it goes, I'm really grateful for the space and the opportunity. Would love to, come back again at some other point, right? To be able to talk more, share more of the stuff we're doing, or, share how the event went, or whatever it is, any sort of way, or, some more community events that's out here in Tacoma. I also want to shout out that I also made a movie called Displaced, the Sunshine Story. It's about a little Black girl that got displaced on Hilltop. It's a lived experience sort of movie, something that me and my children went through, and it goes through this little girl and her family being evicted from the Hilltop, and it just goes from there. So there's a coloring book, a movie, there's these series, there's all kinds of work out here being done, and so I'm just grateful that we actually got the chance to share it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, where can we see? Is that on?
I'll share it with you. I'll send you the link. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that personal artistic accomplishment. That's what we're about too.
Yes.
So, sharing Tacoma artists, that's a big deal. You're a Tacoma artist. You made a movie, you made a coloring book. We would have had you on just for that.
Next time I'll come back and share about that. And I definitely want to, highlight all of the amazing people in Tacoma and Pierce County who do some amazing work and deserve to be honored for all the things that they do, and including to you all. You know what I mean? You look at what you all are doing. You're providing a platform for people to speak from the heart. And that's amazing in and of itself. And I'm just grateful I get to participate. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate having you. Well, folks,
thank you all.
All right, peace.
All right.
Adriane, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Well, y'all, make sure you tap in with those links. We'll have them in the chat. You know how we do halftime break. We're going to get into this music. We got about 11 minutes of slappers for you, and then we'll be back with our topics for today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. It's the Build and Destroy Show.
Damn. Motherfucking beat. This intro to the beat. It's hella hard to catch. And it's my time to rap. It's coming up soon.
bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. America's a gang, America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. America's a gang, America's a gang. Beneficial since it's beneficial. The pen is fickle, the interest is hidden in the temples. In the past I was battle-minded and flipping insults. Fragile times, don't forget conflictions, forbidden info. I'm castle building with the class of children, sticking out rather than blending in with mass civilians. Outmatched by the feelings of disastrous villains. Doubt had me in shackles, needing an act for healing. I'm grounded but I give dap to the ceiling. A host of parasites in a manufactured pavilion. Being daft is attractive fulfillment. You're being brash while I'm actually chilling. I personify verses beyond your eyes. The philosophical prophet is optimized. You compromise the earth like 5G. Why me? I'm in a state of mind the rhymes feed. Yeah. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. America's a gang, America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. America's a gang, America's a gang. The devil ain't on his way, he's already here. Our worst fear, our leaders, our prophets are hunted down like deer. It's a killing field, it's a killing season. It's a simple reason they don't want us here. It's have-nots will always rise up, that's clear. Rich kids will always mimic us, oh dear. The devil's worst fear. I can sell some fire to the devil, sell freedom for all. To a southern rebel, they ain't on a level, slow it down a notch. Playing with these devils, chalk lines, hopscotch. Staying with these troubles, the rock lies us in the box. Jail cells and sidewalks, we stuck on they block. Slow it down, roll it back is what they say. The game is set up for us to fail in every single way. And so you pray, but you can't hide when evil calls your name. Say yourself, America is a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. America's a gang, America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. We bang, cause America's a gang. America's a gang, America's a gang.
Touching down with impact, on contact, booming deep with my crew, cause we's about that. Sorry about your broken door, we here for the contract. So come on now, man, your time is up and provide that. Abdicate some of that power with no slide back. And keep it all simple, there won't be no combat. But if you wanna bring the heat, then cool, we got that. Only cause you clap first, this the clap back. And when these things go burst, rat-a-tat-a-tat-tat. From the backpack, my soldiers stay strapped. We only came here for the big payback. They kidnapped us, backlashed us, straight strapped us, low down, dirty bastards. Now I'm the one here with the rope for the hanging, doing our thing. American gang banging, so feel the pain of a 500-year thunderous stain of black rain here. And when we on the attack with intensity, you know they're gonna feel the stain from you and from me. And so let me explain, I got about a million ways to pull out my list and read every name of a fallen brother, sister that's been slain. Just a moment of silence. Now hold up for a second and let me refrain. It all adds up to a goddamn shame. Fuck the Constitution until it gets rewritten through a revolution. Fuck the Constitution until it gets rewritten through a revolution. Fuck the Constitution until it gets rewritten through a revolution. Fuck the Constitution until it gets rewritten through a revolution.
Board. Welcome to the Lyricist Lounge. Welcome. We get love around the world, 'cause the whole world loves us. 'Cause we love the world, we love the girls. We get love around the world, 'cause the whole world loves us. 'Cause we love the world. Yeah. We get love around the world, 'cause the whole world loves us.
Build and Destroy Show. It's the 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 Build and Destroy Show. It's halftime break, y'all. We got about 5 minutes left before we back at you.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, I just gotta get back to what we really about, man. Shit, somebody gotta do it. Shit, it's hip hop, hey. I do it for hip hop. Hey, hip hop. Say what you do it, hey. Nigga, hip hop. Say what you do it, love. Fuss with me, hold up. See ya. It's all about hip hop. That's how we doing tonight, man. Too many mumbling ass niggas, stumbling ass niggas, hold up, hey. Look, I did it for the hip, did it for the I did it for the P, boy, I shoot up at the hip. Understand, I'm just doing how I'm doing, son. Understand, I'm just doing how I'm doing, son. Freestyling, meanwhile in the cut. Told you Lewis, I'm on a nigga, yeah, that's what's up. Told you back in the day, I would get the buck. Nowadays, it's 2 middle fingers up. Ooh, and dog, you can even stir the pot. If you ain't gonna do it, nigga, let me stir the pot. I'm gonna do things bigger than some mix a lot. And there ain't no diss, but you know I'm about to make it pop. Hey, it's hip hop, hey. I do it for hip hop. Hey, hip hop. Say what you do it, hey. Nigga, hip hop. Say hip hop, look. I just did it for the nigga. Hip hop. I just want it for the hip hop. See, I just do it for the hip hop.
Yeah.
Do it for the art, nigga. From the listen.
You know I had to bring it back, like spinning on your back, or your born day with your mama birth, you laying on her back, legs and stirrups fully intact. I go back even farther than that, to when I fathered you and I had your mama flat on her back. I bring it back like that, like rewinding to the beginning of the track, writing exact what you know about that. I bring it all the way back, like a bra strap.
It's hip hop, hey. I do it for hip hop. Hey, hip hop. Say what you do it, hey. Nigga, hip hop. Say hip hop. Look, I just did it for the nigga. Hip hop. I just want it for the hip hop. See, I just do it for the hip hop. Do it for the art, nigga. Hey, listen, I've been watching from the watchtowers, serving just good news. Steven staying away, it's bad news. See these dudes out here, yeah, they taking a life, breaking up families and never paying the price. Not really though, jumping off the top rope, Rey Mysterio. And this is how the series goes. It's a Gotham Light village, Gotham Light world, and I'm over here just trying to keep my tight girl like yeah.
Cause I know I got them. I just laugh and joke in their face like the villain of Gotham. This beat hit Dwayne Johnson, dropping rock bottom. King of the ring, you see me, you spot him. Mount Rainier reflects off my glasses. Explosive, Mount St. Helens spreading ashes. No nonsense, Mr. Yuck Toxic. All of us go ahead and rock this. From start to finish, y'all witness a real life genie, granting 3 wishes. Truth is, this is Dr. by Mac Driz. 4 horsemen riding on you bitches.
It's hip hop, hey. I do it for hip hop. Hey. hip hop, hip hop. Say what you doing?
What?
Hey, nigga, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop.
Yeah, that's Totalua right there. R.I.P. featuring High Rise and AWOL, aka Two Piece. Hip hop. Unreleased joint. We are back. Well, I'll say I'm back. High Rise had to drop out, so we won't be getting his Sister Nancy show review. But we still gonna dig into these topics. So, hey, the show don't stop. The show don't stop. Might pop in. So, what's the first topic that we got? We gotta talk about the Jay-Z Target deal. This is coming off the heels of he just knows how to stir things up and get his name out there and stay out there. So, first he had the interview talking about battling shouldn't be in hip-hop anymore. Then he comes out at the Roots Picnic with a battle rap. Now he's going against Target, or going against black folks' boycott on Target to drop the special album, special release. So I got a couple takes on this. My first take is they fucked Dame over on this. This was the whole point of the ownership that he had, because that was the only asset, and they couldn't. Somebody got the shit for hella cheap, and now they're about to get money. Whoever bought the rights to the Rockefeller through the whole Dame Dash court auction, to where they was auctioning. He said he ain't got no money. That was one. They auctioned off his assets. And that was one. So yeah, whoever got that, I think Cam and Mace talked about buying it, but I don't think they bought it. That they should have, because with this re-release, I mean, Target's gonna be selling them records for $20. You only got to sell 100,000. That's 2 million. We'll say off of the $20 record, it takes. They probably get them for like $5, maybe less. So, I mean, it's a good, easy, quick flip for a product that you don't really have to do anything. Make a special label. You got rough drafts of songs. You got unreleased versions, different. It's just an easy, low effort. Don't have to do nothing. Let me just get money. But yeah, Dame, that would have been money that he was being afforded a part of if he wouldn't have had to forfeit his share. Yeah, and that's outside of the whole Jay-Z's record of going against the black folks. Other people spoke about that, Colin Kaepernick and NFL. I'm not going down that road. My take is Dame Dash. He forfeited his share in this for the 30th anniversary drop. And it's an easy play. 30 years is a nice, round, even number. It makes sense. And you don't have to do much. The music is there. So, yeah. He could have did the deal with anybody. Why he did it with Target. Maybe they just offered more money. Oh, we won't even take a cut. We'll let you do it. Put it in the stores for free, and you can keep all your money. So, my thought is, also on top of that, this can't be a rollout for the 30th anniversary album. There's got to be something behind it. Like, that's part of the rollout for the bigger thing. This that's just part of the keeping the conversation going. I think he'll have at least one more media attention grabber moment from an interview or something that he says, or he shows up somewhere. If he was at the White House UFC, see that it'll be something like that. One more thing where they see him somewhere or he says the wrong thing before we hear that the album's actually coming out, like the name of an album or something like that. So that's what I'm thinking, my opinion, commentary. Next up, the Tiny Desk run. We talked about it last week. I think it's been pretty well. I realized that it is Black Music Month for them, so they're doing all black artists. So that's why it seems like it's been just a run recently. But they had Eve and 8 Ball and MJG. Both of those I probably watched half each. I just enjoy the format. I enjoy it because it is you having to rap or sing. Like you can't, and it allows you to be more flexible with your voice because of the intimate type of format. Even the Noochies front porch, because it's outside, even though it's a different format, you're still, I think, you're performing on an outside mic. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're rapping for a crowd, whereas you're in the Tiny Desk office. You can have much more inflections in your tones and the way that you pronunciate, and I think that's a great place just to showcase your skills as an artist, whether you're a singer or a rapper. You got live band going behind you. So yeah, Eve, she did her thing. 8 Ball and MJG, they had, they have their cuts, and I think their band, it seemed like they must have been used to performing with the band, as opposed to, I think, some other artists, they don't like just have a band, because their first couple songs, one of them, it had a beat change in it that was cold, and then it goes back to the original, like they served it on that. And they also did the Noochies front porch, so I'd say it looks like they're doing a run for something. Eve, that might have just been a one-off for her, because I ain't seen her on no other interviews or nothing. But 8 Ball and MJG, they definitely did the Noochies front porch, and I think they did another interview also. So I didn't look that up. So they might got something coming. Let's see, what do we have here next? We don't have the Sister Nancy review. Oh, the Rapsody. We got to talk about the Rapsody video and song. And Mr. Porter, Denon Porter. He clearly produced it. He's in the video banging on the MPC. So he's definitely the producer on there. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Go back to that. But yeah, the video itself, very creative, colorful. It really, to me, it helped liven Rapsody up more as a character. Not that she's a character, but I'm saying her persona or image, aura, it gave it another dimension. It gave it a dimension of like funness, attitude, it was a lot, man. I thought it was a great video. She had her bars were there, you know. I think sometimes that part gets missed out when someone's doing some sort of critical review is on a video. Particularly they're looking at, it's like you're judging. I mean, most people don't even make videos no more. We can start there. The level of actual video-ness, like it was a good look, and it looked like it was thought through, and a lot within her. How it reminded me of Missy Elliott. As if I want to be just 100%, like she worked with the white dude. I can't remember his name, Dave Myers, back in the day, and that's where he would come up with all her crazy videos. But she would work closely with him on what she wanted the video to be, whereas every artist don't do that, you know. So yeah, shout out to Rapsody for coming with the bars. Got the catchy hook with the choir in it, and the dope concept. Like it fit, and I think it's perfect for perfect timing on her part. And shout out to Denon, Mr. Porter, staying active on the production side. I would speak about D12, but I haven't listened to the album. I'm gonna have to check the D12 album out. I do know that it doesn't have Eminem on it, so that's one thing. But yeah, definitely still have to give that a spin, because D12 was hard. I liked their stuff, so we'll have to check them out. We'll see what comes of the next crop of music. We normally have a review coming from him, but he couldn't make it today. Had other obligations, but that's all good. You know, we'll be back next week. Make sure you get into the chat, get into the comments. Let us know if there's any topics you want us to go over for the upcoming week. If we missed anything, hot take, whatever. But we want to hear what you got to say as well. But we'll be back next week. This will be the end for today. The Build and Destroy show every Sunday around 5 p.m. Pacific time. I say around because we be on Black people time, so you can't say 5 o'clock. You got to say around. That just lets you know we ain't starting on time. We'll be right around there, close as we can. But all right, y'all. Peace. We'll be back at you next week.